Hello and welcome back to Cultura Latinoamericana. This is Katelyn Ruiz, and today I will be talking about different Latin American dance styles to start off with. We have many different dances all across Latin America and from each of the individual countries. I will not be able to cover all of them, but we will go over many of them. To start, we have salsa. This originates in Cuba, and the dance has a time signature of 4/4. This is based on a repeated rhythm called clave rhythm and follows a repeated pattern of chords. The piano is prominent and plays a syncopated broken chords. Congas and cowbells can also be heard, and it often features question and answer style melodies. Next we have rumba, and it is another Cuban dance, and it is found all over different Caribbean islands. This one is a slower dance with the same time signature of a 4/4. Like many other dances, this has syncopated rhythms that are of African origins, as many of the Caribbean islands have lots of Afro influences as slaves were brought over in the American slave trade, many to the Caribbean islands. So there are a lot of African influences all across there. Next we have the cha-cha, also of Cuban origin. It has been shortened to the cha-cha, but was originally the cha-cha-cha. This dance takes its name from the rhythm of the guiro, or the scraper, and the shuffling of the dancer's feet. The time signature can either be a 2/4 or a 4/4, depending on the song that is played with. Next up we have merengue. This originates in the Dominican Republic with a time signature of a 2/4, but it also features syncopated groups of 5 drum beats. Again, the Dominican Republic is one of the Caribbean islands, or part of one of the Caribbean islands with African influences. So that's where you get those syncopated rhythms. Next up we have the samba. This is an energetic dance that is very associated with Carnival of Brazil. Carnivals are so celebrated all over Latin America, but it is well known as the Carnival in Rio de Janeiro. This dance, the samba, has a signature of 2/4. A large drum called a surdo plays the pulse of the beat, with layers of repeated syncopated patterns played on smaller drums, shakers, and agogo bells. Brazil is also a country with African influences, although it is not in the Caribbean. It is on the east coast against the Atlantic Ocean, and it is very close to Africa. Next up we have the bossa nova. This is a genre of samba and jazz with a time signature 2/4. In bossa nova, there is emphasis placed on melody rather than rhythmic percussion. This one is also from Brazil. Next, we have tango. This is a very dramatic and a very passionate dance that originates in Argentina. It has a time signature of 4/4 as well, and it features a syncopated ostinato, and it contains repeated accented notes. Legato phrases are contrasted with short staccato notes and glissandi. Tango is one of the ballroom dances that is it is graded, and it is widely in competitions all over the world. Some of the instruments that are used in the songs that are played for these dances include castanets, which are a concave shell They're held in the hands and they provide clicks for a rhythmic accent or produce a rattling sound. We also have the bongo drums. These are an Afro-Cuban percussion instrument consisting of two drums that are held between the knees and played with fingers in the palm of the hand. They're fairly high-pitched in sound compared to the larger, lower sounding congas, and they're usually played at a steady ostinato. Next we have panpipes. Music containing the panpipes can be heard in countries in the Andes mountain range and other Latin American countries. They're also used in some music of Asia and Europe as well, and have been referenced to in Greek mythology, but you can find them in Latin American music. Traditional panpipes are hollow bamboo tubes bound together, and they are used in many different songs. We also have the bachata. Bachata is a dance that is well known all across many different Latin American countries. It is a common dance that is danced at celebrations and parties amongst Latinos all over, even in the United States. Next, we have reggaeton, which is not just a music genre, but also a dance style. Reggaeton was originally an underground music style that was originally banned by Puerto Rico, and now is not and hasn't been for the past few decades, but originally was an underground music style. Cumbia is another music style. Cumbia is from Colombia, and it has a steady beat of a 4/4. It is also a dance that is commonly danced at celebrations and parties amongst all Latinos. There is also Tejano and Charro dances that are influenced by more northern Mexico, but those aren't as specific dances. Right after Latin American dances, we will jump right into different music genres. These often match the same names of the dances that they correlate to and are from the same countries that the dancers are from many times, but we will still mention them. First up, we have salsa music. It was first started in the 1940s and 1950s in Cuba. There are many different areas that influence salsa, but it is defined for its repeating patterns. Next, we have cumbia music. This music originates from Colombia, same as the dance is known from. It's known for its folk style and is recognized today for its mixture of African and indigenous rhythm. And not only will we be talking about Latin American dance styles, but we will also talk about the different music genres in Latin America. Most of them do match the dance style that they go to, so it is the exact same name for the music genre and the dance style, but I will be telling you a little bit more about the music. To start off with, we have salsa music, which is a genre that comes from Cuba and was started in the 1940s and the 1950s when Cuban artists brought their own traditions and music genres to New York City with a new upbeat style of music. And this was created in the 1960s and is known as the iconic salsa, which is the New York salsa. That is defined for its repeating patterns. Next up, we have cumbia music. This is another Latin American music genre that you have probably heard in Colombia, Argentina, Chile, and more. It originates in Colombia, and it is known as a folk style that is recognized today for a mixture of African as well as indigenous rhythm and different instruments, including the gaita, which is similar to the flute, and the guarachas, a percussion instrument, and other European influences. The genre became famous around the 1960s all around the world, and there are constantly new forms and rhythms that are being developed. Next, we have reggaeton music. It is a younger Latin American music genre, and it originated in Puerto Rico starting in the mid 1990s, with a blend of Latin and reggae rhythms. Reggaeton history has evolved tremendously and is one of the most popular music genres, not just in Latin America, but all over the world now. There are many different artists from all over, not just Puerto Rico, but also Colombia, and it is a mix of hip-hop and reggae rhythms with Spanish rapping and singing as well. Next up, we have bachata music. It is originally from the Dominican Republic. It first made headlines in the 20th century, but it was actually held back for a number of decades as it just was not able to grow. But once it did, it absolutely exploded and has become a diverse representation of the Dominican Republic. There are 5 instruments that you need to perform the soothing bachata style, including a requinto, which is the lead guitar, the segunda, a rhythm guitar, a bass guitar, bongos, and the guerra, which is another percussion instrument. Next up, we have merengue. Merengue is also from the Dominican Republic, and it gained popularity in the mid-19th century. It is known for its slower tempo and sentimental melodies. It is recognized as both a music and a dance style. It has a repeating 5-beat pattern called a quintillo, and the instruments needed to make the merengue sounds include a diatonic accordion, a 2-sided drum, also called a tambora, and a metal scraper known as a guerra, which I have mentioned several times earlier. Next up, we have bossa nova music, formed in the 1960s by the famous Latin American musician and the father of bossa nova, João Gilberto of Brazil. Bossa nova is a popular music style influenced by a mixture of vibrant samba as well as cool jazz sounds. Very few instruments are required. The guitar, the berimbau, which is similar to a musical bow, as well as the drum, piano, and a vocalist. It is known for its sophisticated and harmonic sounds. Next, we have rumba. Rumba is another popular Latin American style of music, and it is accompanied with 2 to 3 conga drums and sticks. This medium to fast-paced Afro-Cuban style is extremely popular ballroom dancing style, and you are guaranteed to hear it all through Latin and South America. Next up, we have son music, or son cubano. It is another popular genre in Latin America and was formed in eastern Cuba in the 19th century. It is a mix of Spanish and African sounds, and it is a genre of music as well as the dance is a very important component to the daily life and history in Cuba, and it has helped shape and influence the Latin American music scene overall. Next up, we have tango, which is another ballroom dance. It is a traditional tango sextet, consists of a piano, double bass, 2 violins, 2 bandoneons, and can be recognized for its 2/4 and 2/2 count. Lastly, we have Latin pop music. It is a subcategory of pop music and was made popular in the 1980s and 90s for its fusion of modern and catchy pop style with the Spanish lyrics and the Latin music and flair. It is a relatively new style of Latin American music, and it is commonly associated with the Spanish language, rock, and dance music. More famous Latin American musicians in the pop genre are Shakira, Ricky Martin, who is known as the King of Latin Pop, Jennifer Lopez, Enrique Iglesias, Gloria Estefan, and many, many more. Thank you for listening to the different dances and music styles. Lastly, we will be going into sports. The sports that are most popular in Latin America is predominantly football, not the American football that we know of here in the States, but football as in soccer. And that is the most popular sport in continental Latin America. But baseball is a more popular sport in the Caribbean, including the Caribbean shores of Mexico, Central, and South America. Sports all over Latin America include baseball, basketball, rugby, tennis, golf, volleyball, as well as hockey, beach volleyball, motorsports, and cricket. In South America, the first Olympic Games were held in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil in the year 2016. 2 years prior to this, major cities in Brazil hosted the 2014 FIFA World Cup, which is soccer, if you don't know FIFA. Volleyball is the second most popular sport in Brazil, and the country has a total of 8 Olympic gold medals in the sport. 5 are in indoor and 3 are in beach. And the women's volleyball in Peru had a standout in the 80s where they won a silver Olympic medal. Today, the sport is growing in Argentina, however, and Venezuela. Soccer arrived in Latin America in the late 1800s with a large influx of Europeans, and it has since exploded in popularity. And it's dominating as the most popular sport by far in almost all of the Latin American countries. This wraps up the last episode of Cultura Latinoamericana. In this last episode, we have covered different dance styles, music genres, and sports. Thank you for listening.